everybody. Today we're going to talk a little bit about something new. This is equal parts of a whole. And you might have also heard the word fractions. It's all the same thing, but fractions are equal parts of a whole. So first we're going to talk about the word partition. In second grade, we learned how to partition rectangles into equal parts. The word partition is just a fancy word for separate or divide. So I'm going to show you how we can partition rectangles or divide them into equal parts. For example, you see the green shape here. We have halves, two equal parts. We also have thirds, like the blue rectangle, which is three equal parts. And then last on the bottom here, the purple shape is fourths. We have divided this rectangle into four equal parts. So this is examples how to partition, how to divide rectangles. You can do this with other shapes as well. Rectangles is just usually a little bit easier. When we partition shapes, when we separate them or divide them up, the trick is we must have equal parts. For example, on the top here, you see the orange shape does not have equal parts. Some are fat, some are skinny. The same with this circle to the right. These parts are not equal. However, on the bottom of the screen, the blue is equal parts. All four of these sections are the same size. Same with the green shape. There's only two parts, but the two parts here are exactly the same size. So again, when we partition shapes, we must have equal parts, or it really doesn't count. Examples of equal parts of a whole. So we have the circle, we have this rectangle, pies can be divided, pizzas can be divided, and there are some examples of some other shapes here. These are examples of equal parts of a whole. You know when you cut up a pizza that you don't want your sibling to get a bigger piece than you do, right? This is examples of equal parts of a whole. We can also describe the whole. For example, this blue shape here is divided into thirds. We have one part that's light blue. We have a second third that is a medium blue, and we have the third third that is a darker blue. We can also describe shapes like the yellow parts here. These are divided into fourths. So we have one light yellow, one of the fourths is a medium yellow, the third fourth is a darker yellow, and the fourth is the goldish color. So we can describe the whole as being divided or partitioned into thirds. We can say that the whole is partitioned into fourths. And we can also say that this shape is partitioned into halves. So we have a dark purple half and a light purple half. Halves, thirds, and fourths are ways we can describe the whole. We can also describe the equal parts. For example, in the first shape, what part is purple? One of the three parts is purple. In the next part, one of the four parts is purple. And last, one of the two parts is purple. So if I asked you what part of this first one is shaded purple, that is what you would tell me. One of the three parts is purple. How are these shapes partitioned? Now it's your turn to think. This circle, is it halves, thirds, or fourths? This one is halves because there are two equal parts. How about the next one? This one is, right, fourths because there are four equal parts. Next, this one is halves because there are just two equal parts. This purple shape, this is partitioned into thirds because there are three equal parts. The green shape, is halves. There are two equal parts. The blue shape this one's a big one. This one is partitioned into fourths. There are four equal parts. And last, two equal parts means this is partitioned into halves. Even though the holes are not the same, even though the shapes don't look the same, all of these shapes you see on this page still have two halves. So even though they look very different, they are still divided into two equal parts, which means there are two halves. Even though these holes or these shapes don't look the same, they are still divided into thirds. Because in each of these shapes, there are three equal parts. Again, even though these shapes do not look the same, there are still four fourths. Each of these shapes is divided into four equal parts. And that is it for equal parts of a whole.